Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 9-4. We're talking about solving rational equations. As you can see, this is a day one of day two. So day one will kind of introduce you to the concept. Day two will get a little bit more complicated and have a few more ins and outs for you to attack. So, name of the game: can you solve a rational equation, and can you do it correctly? So let's kind of get here. So let's take a look. Music download service, we won't mention any of them, that downloads are $1 per song. The service also charges a monthly fee of $15. So if the customer downloads songs in 1 month, the bill will be whatever, but the actual cost of the song will be 15 plus X divided by X, okay, where X is your number of songs. All right, so how many songs will need to download to make the actual cost per song $1.25? So you take 15 plus X over X equaling $1.25. So if I multiply both sides by X, so that's going to be 15 plus X equals $1.25X. So if I subtract X, so 15 equals 0.25x. So if I divide that by 0.25, so if I take 15 divided by 0.25, I get 60. So if I download 60 songs, each song would be $1.25. 60 songs is kind of a lot, but that's up to you. So let's take a look. Rational equation is any equation, so that means there's going to be an equal sign, that contains one or more rational expressions. Now, in order to put this together, you must use common multiples. So you need least common multiple and a least common denominator. So that means everything has to have the same denominator before you do anything. And what you can do is eliminate all the denominators by multiplying everything by your least common multiple. Here's kind of what I mean when I say that. So if I look at 5, 5x, and x, I look at all the denominators, this one, this one, this one. I look at what's my least common multiple. So what's in common with all those? Well, my least common multiple is going to be 5x. All right? So now what I'm going to do is solve this, but I'm going to do it by getting rid of each and every fraction. So I do that by multiplying everything by 5x. So 1 over 5 is going to be multiplied by 5x. Okay? 2 over 5x is going to be multiplied by 5x. 1 over x is going to be multiplied by 5x. So now, what can I cancel out, and what do I end up being left with? Well, 5x, 5 over 5 cancels out, you're just left with x. 5x over 5x cancels out, you're just left with 2. Here, x over x cancels out, you're just left with 5. So now all of a sudden this becomes way easier, and I get x to be 7. That's all I've got to do for that one. So if I look here, this is kind of like saying, so I've got 2x, I've got x, and this ends up being like over 1. So it ends up being 1. So my LCM, my least common multiple, is going to be 2x. So I'm going to multiply everything by 2x. So I'm going to take 2x times x minus 3 over 2x plus 2x times 9 over x equals 2x times 2. So now look what happens here though. 2x cancels out, I'm left with x minus 3. X and x cancels out, I'm left with 18. 2x times 2 is going to be 4x. Now all of a sudden this is a lot easier to solve. So if I subtract x, put those two together, I get 15. So I get x to be 5. So I can check that and see if I'm right, and I've got a feeling I'm going to be pretty close. So that's how I do it. So the least common multiple part is the big idea here. You've got to be able to handle. So here I've got 28, I've got z plus 2, and I've got 4. So my common least common multiple is going to be 28 times z plus 2. All right, it's 28 because it's 7 times 4, so that 4 is going to be included in there. So 28z plus 2 is going to be my least common multiple. So now, what does that look like in terms of the problem? Well, I'm going to multiply everything times both of those things. So I'm going to take 28z plus 2 times 9 over 28 plus 28 times z plus 2 times 3 over z plus 2. All that's going to be equal to 28z plus 2 times 3/4. So what happens is this. So 28 cancels out. I'm left with 9z plus 18. Over here, z plus 2 cancels out. 28 times 3 is going to be just shy of 90, so I'm going to be 84. Then that's going to equal 28 over 4 is 7. So I'm going to have 7z plus 14 times 3. So 7z plus 14 times 3 is going to be 21z plus 42. All right, so this is what my simplified answer becomes. So now I've got to solve this thing. So let's start putting some things together here. Well, I'll subtract 9z, 18 plus 84. Let's go minus 42, minus 42. So then we rewrite it down here. I'll change colors here. So what do I have left? I've got 60 equals 12z. So after all that noise, z equals 5. There's your simplified answer. But you've got to be picky. You've got to take your time, and you've got to make sure that you can cancel out everything, and you've got to make sure that you've got everything in the least common multiple. So if I take a look here, I'm looking at 6x minus 2 and 2. So my LCM would then be 6 times x minus 2. Okay, the 2 is included with the 6 because 6 can be divided by 2. So I'm going to take 6 times x minus 2 times 5 over 6 plus 6x minus 2 times 2 over x minus 2, and then 6x minus 2 times 1/2. So 6 cancels out. This becomes 5x plus 10. That's a plus. X minus 2 cancels out. So that becomes 12. 6 over 2 becomes 3. So this becomes 3x minus 6. Notice I'm simplifying, canceling out, multiplying what I have left. Now it's a little bit messy, but I can start putting things together here. You know, subtract 3x, subtract 3x. This becomes 22, but I'm going to subtract 22. So that becomes 2x equals negative 28. So x should equal negative 14. There's my answer. There's my answer. Take a second, look and see what I did. So, same kind of idea. 12x minus 4, 48. So I'm really hoping you guys are kind of starting to see that 48x minus 4 is going to be the least common multiple. So I'm going to take 48x minus 4 times 7 over 12 plus 48x minus 4 times 9 over x minus 4. Notice I'm not distributing this, and because all that does is kind of make it a little messy when I try and put it together. What I want to do is try and keep it separate. That way I can cancel things out if it's possible. So I want to keep it that way. So 48x minus 4 times 55 over 48. So now let's see what I can do here. 48 over 12 is 4. So I get 4x minus 4 times 7. So I get 4x minus 16 times 7. So that'll be 28x minus 112. Over here, boom, boom, x minus 4 cancels out. 9 times 48 is going to be 432. Over here, 48 cancels out. So I will have 55x minus 220. So I'll give myself a little bit of room to work here. So I have 28x plus 320 equals 55x minus 220. So, algebra, hopefully instincts kick in. That's a 220. So 55 minus 28, 27x equals 540. So after all that, x equals 20. Boom. X equals 20. That's my answer. So last one here for this kind of set. So you've got 24, 3 minus x, and 4. So setting this up, LCM should be 24, 3 minus x. So I'm going to multiply 24, 3 minus x times 5 over 24 plus 24, 3 minus x, 2 over 3 minus x equals 24, 3 minus x times 1/4. So now, see what I can cancel out. So 24 cancels out. That will be 15 minus 5x. 3 minus x, 3 minus x cancels out. That'll be 48. Over here, 24 over 4 is 6. So this becomes 18 minus 6x. So now I got to start putting things together. So I'll go 15 and 48. So that'll be negative 5x plus 63 equals 18 minus 6x. So if I add 6x, add 6x, subtract 63, subtract 63, I'll be left with x equaling 18 minus 63, which will be negative 45. There's my answer. All right, play around with this. I highly encourage you to kind of follow the same technique I did. Keep it separate. Keep your least common multiple separate. Multiply it by everything. Get rid of all the fractions. And then put together what you have left, which should just be straight algebra. Come talk to me with questions, and good luck.